21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
The original idea for VetHack it started in 2014. I had lived in Brazil for 4 years and moved back home in 2014. I met a lot of tech talent in Brazil who were interested in relocating and getting hired abroad. So I created an online course to teach them English and soft skills. And that was the original idea. About a year after that, a lot of companies started getting in touch with us, asking for introductions to candidates. That we ended up making introductions and getting people hired. So we became more of a recruiting company. And yeah, 2020, I guess it's been 7 years, over 7 years now.
Since the launch of your company, what changes have you noticed in the tech industry?
It's been a huge evolution. Things definitely got a lot bigger, a lot more companies, a lot more people involved in it. One thing specifically for us, when we first started the company, the idea of hiring someone in another country was very foreign, very strange, and people weren't very comfortable with it. You have to do a job interview, meet face to face, and COVID changed everything. So we had now much more companies open to hire people that they only met online, and more comfortable with the remote work as well as and helping people relocate to new countries.
How does your organization stand out from the competition?
I think the biggest thing, there's two things. One is that we actually have a lot of education components. So candidates come to VetHack, a lot of times they're not ready to get hired abroad. So they come and they don't have very good English, or they're not very confident in themselves. And we help train them and skill them up and give them courses, whether that's on the video courses or actually group classes with human instructor, live classes. And then the other thing is that all of our jobs are either remote or they are sponsoring visa. So there's a lot of there's not very many places where you can go and find a job that actually will help you relocate and immigrate to a new country. And that's our biggest differentiator.
Okay, are we discussing Canada, or are there any other countries that need to be taken into consideration?
You've helped people move to Europe as well a lot. So move to Portugal, Spain, Ireland, UK, Germany, Netherlands, Malta, France, and maybe a few others that I don't remember right now. As well as the US and Canada too.
With regards to the training and skill up that you mentioned, can you share with us your experience from a company's perspective? So how does your company benefit companies looking for diverse tech talent?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that we're able to quickly match them with the right candidate. On average, companies get candidates on VetHack applying to their jobs within 12 minutes of the job being posted. So it's really, really fast, almost like the time that it takes you to order an Uber. It's very strong and quick this way. Another thing is that we do have, like you mentioned, a very diverse talent pool. So you have talent from all over the world, a lot of different backgrounds, gender, whatever flavor of diversity. We probably have someone who fits your role. And then I think most importantly is just like we have a lot of senior candidates. So a lot of candidates who come to VetHack, they're a little bit more experienced. They have maybe 5 or 10 years experience. They're looking for stability and kind of a better quality of life. So by helping them relocate to your country, your city, you're able to kind of lock in this talent. And actually, the last thing I'll say is the talent stays for a long time. So we have candidates, senior developers who stay for about 3 years, which is a lot higher than the industry average, which is around 1.5 years.
Are there any international efforts that you have established to bridge the gender gap in technology?
Yeah, we do 2 Women in Tech hiring fairs every year. So we just had one a couple weeks ago, and then we have one in the spring as well. We do a lot of kind of preparation and training, is like women-only classes, to make people feel more comfortable. And it's a big part of what we do. the visa is always interesting and difficult, kind of part of the process. Like, I think that right now the trend is countries are kind of competing for talent and making it so, there's a lot of skilled workers out there who want to relocate, and some of them are very specific that I want to move to, just one country. Other people are more open. So if you can be a kind of easy country to move to, if you have a simple, straightforward visa process and have a good quality of life, and every person who relocates to a new country, that person creates 5 new jobs on average when they move, because they pay rent and buy a car and go to restaurants and all those things, and that helps stimulate the economy. So I think it's like really interesting. Some companies or some countries are really aggressive, and like Estonia, for example, and a few others, to make it really easy for talent to relocate. And I hope the trend, I see the trend is that it's becoming more and easier, but I hope that trend continues.
Did you adjust your business model from its inception until now?
Yeah, our business model is pretty straightforward and simple. We did evolve it a little bit, but it's always been kind of a percentage of annual salary. We started off at 15%, and now it's 20% of the annual salary. So if a company hires a developer for 100,000, our fee is 20,000. And then we recently added kind of a new model, which we call a credit model, that companies can prepay for 3, 5, 10, or a specific number of hires, and they get a discount, but we get the confirmation that the company will make those hires with us over the next 12 months. So yeah, that's kind of how a new thing that we've evolved as we start getting more customers that are hiring a lot of people.
What type of sales model do you employ?
Yeah, a lot of B2B sales. So we do a lot of cold outreach on LinkedIn, email, cold calling. We go to a lot of events and conferences as well. We do, referrals as a big channel as well, so companies can refer their friends to us.
Could you provide more details regarding the events that you have previously organized?
So we started off, early days. We did a lot of events where people would actually fly. We would fly developers to cities that they want to move to and have them spend 1 week in that city. So we'd bring developers to Berlin or to Toronto, and they have like a week immersion in that city. And those were really cool because the companies can meet the developers or candidates face to face and have kind of a networking session and in-person interviews. Obviously, during COVID, that wasn't possible. So we now do online events. Which also have a lot of positives because you don't have to only be limited by the candidates who can actually be in that city and take the time off work and can afford to travel. So we have a lot more candidates as well as more companies, because it's not just candidates or companies from like a Toronto or Berlin or specific city. The candidates are employers from everywhere. So yeah, actually we just had an event today actually for our JavaScript hiring fair. So it's like a 5-minute matching where companies do a speed interview with the candidate, and if they like the candidate, they can move to the next step.
As an entrepreneur, what specific mindset do you need to have, and what qualities are essential in order to be successful in your field?
I think my kind of style is I'm pretty aggressive. I like to push things forward. I like to move fast. Sometimes that causes problems, but I think overall it's the right way to be, because otherwise things don't happen. So I'm very, I would say, yeah, I like to move fast and get things done. Yeah.
Do you have any strategies for creating a daily routine that has actually led to positive results?
Honestly not. My days are, pretty straightforward and simple. Wake up, have breakfast, go to work, etc. But I don't have any specific routine or any kind of, working out every once in a while is always good, of course, but I'm not one of those people who's I wake up at 6, I do a journal or whatever. I just wake up, have breakfast, get to work.
how have Van Hack services changed lives? And what does your team envision for the future?
For sure. So today we've helped almost 2,000 people get hired, and most of them have relocated to new countries. As an immigrant myself, I know how impactful moving to a country can be. It could, literally, change your life, right? You change everything. You change the food, the weather, the culture, the people, the language, everything. And a lot of times our candidates are coming from countries that they don't want to be in, developing markets like Latin America, Africa, Asia, and moving to really great quality of life countries like Germany, Canada. And so, we're really passionate about that because we see ourselves as not just helping someone get a job, like we actually help them move and relocate and settle in and help them with, finding a house, school for the kids, etc. So it's really something that's personal and it's a big passion of ours. And a lot of people on our team are also immigrants or kind of have lived abroad at some point in their life. We're really excited every time someone gets hired because we know that means they got hired, so they will move, but they also have a spouse and maybe some kids, and in the future they're going to have other generations moving and living in that new country and becoming citizens of new countries. We actually had a few weeks ago I ran into a Van Hacker, which is we call our candidates Van Hackers, and he told me he just became a Canadian citizen. So it's pretty cool. You see people actually having real results and new passports and new country that they live in. It's a big part of what we do, and I really enjoy that. Last thing I'll say is we have a lot of on our social media. People want to check, follow Van Hack on the social, Twitter, etc., LinkedIn. You'll see a lot of pictures of our candidates relocating. So you'll see pictures of people arriving in the airport with their families and luggage and everything. It's pretty fun.
Where will you be, and where do you see your company in the next, let's say, 5 years?
We want to be the largest international tech recruiting company in the world, or maybe better say the largest cross-border recruiting company in the world. So maybe not just tech. We probably will be expanding to other things like sales and construction, biology, healthcare, etc. We want to do 7,200 hires in 2027 in 5 years. I'll still be here working hard. If you're looking for your next great tech hire, go to vanhack.com and sign up. We'll get you candidates right away.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.